welcome to the Azam Shop channel on YouTube. I'm your host Mohammad Azam, and this is the Learning iOS Development part number 16. In this part, basically, I'm going to show you how you can transfer the values in the storyboard from basically one view or the one controller to the other. Let's look at our storyboard. This is a storyboard that we worked on the last time. We have a customers, and then you can see the add button. When you click the add button, it goes to add the customer. Okay, and these are all, so this is a table view, but the thing about this table view is that these are static cells. Okay, and instead of text over here, we can just change the property to, let's say, enter the first name. Okay, and same thing over here. We don't really want the text to appear. We want the placeholder, which will say last name. All right. One important thing when you make the table view static cells is that there should not be any code for the table view, like the default code. So if I go to, let's say, over here, you can see that although it is a table view, I have removed most of the events of the table view control, or the table view control. And the reason is that if you have those events, let's say number of rows returned, number of section returned, and a cell for index path and all that stuff, then it will not render the table as a static table, even though we have said that this is a static table, because that's in code that will override the static behavior and it will make it dynamic. So always make sure that the content type is set to static cells, and also make sure that there is no code related to the UI table view, like the delegates contained in your code behind file. Okay. If I go over here in the add customer view controller, you can see that I have declared a protocol which contains a delegate. This is a add customer view controller did save delegate, and basically this delegate will be fired, will be invoked whenever I add the customer, and it's going to pass in the new customer that you just created, and it's going to pass it to the list, which is the customer's view controller. Okay, and you can see over here in the header file that the customer's view controller basically consumed this add customer view controller delegate. Okay, and this method is implemented over here. So we add the new customer to the customers collection, and we refresh the table. So let's say if I run it right now, so here's the customer's view, and we say add, and I say over here John Doe, and I say save. You can see that this view is not collapsed or not hidden also, and when I click it, it doesn't disappear. Okay, so we need to hook up one more event or one more method which will make everything work, and we are going to add this method in the customer's view controller, and this method is called prepare for segue, and this is fired just before the control or the controller transfers the control to the next controller. Okay, so let's say UI navigation controller. That's because there is a navigation controller that we are targeting. The next controller that will be passed to the control is the navigation controller. Okay, so we get that, and then we say add customer view controller, add customer view controller. This is just to get that the navigation view controller, and that is inside the view controllers hierarchy. So here we view controllers, and then we can say object at index. We can pass 0, And then at this point we can simply say that, okay, add customer controller.delegate. We are going to set up the delegate. This actually means that self, which means this particular file or this particular class, which in this case is customers view controller, and we are setting up the delegate so that when this is invoked, when the delegate is invoked over here, let me show you here, then it knows that who is subscribed to it and who to fire. Okay, so it's going to go over here and fire basically this particular function, this particular method. Okay. Another thing actually what you want to do is that since the plus sign over here, let me show you, there are multiple ways. Like, let's say if you click the plus button, it can go to this particular controller, right, navigation controller, but you can also have another button over here which is going to somewhere else. So how do you differentiate that, which delegate to attach, and also which controller is your destination controller? So if you check out this is the segue. We have placed an identifier over here which says add customer. Okay, and we can make a check in our code, which is right over here, that we are only going to implement this. We are only interested if this is the add customer. Okay, so I'm just going to say if segue dot identifier is equal to add customer. Okay, let's build this and let's run it. I'm going to say plus sign, I'm going to say John Doe and where to go. I wonder if it's debugging or not. Let me see over here. Let's delete all of those. And here we go. So we have the first sim basically over here. Okay, and I go over here and I say I don't know, Mary whatever Kate, and you can see that the first name is actually being added. So in this particular screencast we learned that how we can identify different segues by giving them an identifier, and also how to implement the static cells. So these are static cells which are implemented, and it sends the data back to the list. Okay, and that's pretty much it. I hope you like this tutorial. If you do, I'm always open for donations, and if you like to send donations, you can always send it to PayPal using the email adamsharp@gmail.com. Hope you like this video. Thank you very much.